So are you essentially putting the public at risk by blurring the lines between who is and isn't a police officer?
For the first time, the man the state accuses of creating imposter police in Nashville is finally agreeing to answer questions from WSMV4 Investigates.
The state is citing him with 62 violations following our reporting into his business practices.
He's never agreed to an interview with Chief Investigator Jeremy Finley until now. So, Jeremy, does Jack Byrd admit to doing anything wrong?
Well, quite the contrary. In the past, he has provided statements, but this is the first time he's agreed to an interview. As you're about to see, he says it's the state that's wrong, not him, when it comes to who can and can't wear police identification.
I've been waiting on this for 2 years. 2 years, buddy. 2 years.
2 years since WSMV4 Investigates first exposed the thin, blurred line without actually hearing from the man accused of creating it, Jack Byrd. And we have plenty of questions for him. Questions about everything we've uncovered. People who aren't certified police wearing police identification. In some cases, accused of acting like police. All who worked or work for him at his security company, Solaren. Multiple complaints filed, resulting in 62 violations from the state. And here's why. You know when you're at the mall or in Nashville and you see off-duty police working security? We uncovered case after case of Solaren security who aren't certified by the state to be police wearing police identification. So if you needed a police officer in a crisis, you may think you're talking to a trained officer, but you're not. You're essentially accused of creating an environment where imposter police officers are working in Nashville.
That's vehemently not true.
You are not a state-certified police officer.
No.
You've never gone to the academy.
No.
Yet you have worn police identification.
Correct.
And I want to ask why you think you can do that.
You can do that because it's allowed in provisions of the law. There are plenty of examples of non-certified law enforcement in the state.
This is where Jack Byrd and the state agency that certifies police officers are at a standstill. You might think it's simple. Only people who are certified by the state to be police can be police. The state statute reads, no security officer, outside of an off-duty police officer, can wear badges, insignias, anything that indicates that the person is a sworn police officer. But Byrd provided opinions to us last week from the Attorney General, even the state Supreme Court, that reads even non-certified officers, like reserve officers or Davidson County Sheriff's deputies, are law enforcement. And therefore, he argues they should be able to wear police identification too while working off duty. So the state is wrong.
Absolutely. They don't know what they're saying.
I've spoken with several police officers who have obviously gone through hundreds of hours of trainings in order to earn the right to wear police identification. What do you say to them about you wearing police identification?
Well, it's no different whenever you have reserves, part-time police.
So why? Why even push the envelope about who is and isn't police? Former employees tell WSMV4 Investigates Byrd can charge more for security if someone is off-duty police. The former employees have told us that you do this in order to make money, that this is all about making money.
That's also vehemently not true. That we don't try to charge them more. They make a request for a service.
But what about one of the most egregious cases we found? We uncovered a felon without a security license wearing a Solaren uniform, saying she was also given police identification to wear. How in the world did that happen?
I know that individual was never assigned to security, much less law enforcement. That's her filling that out, by the way.
But it's on your letterhead.
No, those are work tickets. We've reached out. We've had our attorneys reach out. We wanted to know. After you published it, we never heard anything back from her.
One of his former employees routinely took photos of himself wearing police identification, but was not state-certified police. He told the state, quote, he wore vests that identified him as police because his employer, Solaren, paid a higher hours rate for off-duty police. I wonder if you take any responsibility for this culture that was created that allowed these people to feel like they could do this.
This isn't a culture that anyone created, because I don't believe that it's a culture. I think these are individuals that are breaking the law and need to be held accountable.
And then there's Byrd himself, who has one of these, a commission card that identifies him as a police officer. He got it from the former chief of the town of Millersville, who now works for Solaren.
It's the agency's designation. They can determine who is and what they want to call them.
But don't you see that as a problem, that you were given a commission card to be a police officer?
No, I don't, because I think it's the same exact thing where they knew that we were in compliance. We didn't break the post rules on it. That's what was issued, and that's what I had. I never portrayed myself as a full-time law enforcement officer.
But you did wear police identification.
As is allowed by law.
Okay, so Jeremy, it's obvious Byrd is not backing down from you.
Yeah, Lauren, he's not. In fact, he says if the state doesn't drop all of the violations before this heads to an administrative hearing before an administrative law judge, he will file malicious prosecution charges in the federal courts. Now, we reported last week that Byrd got a DUI. He would not talk about that. But we do have a lot more to tell you, including what we've now uncovered. I got to ask you why you need a tank, why you need a helicopter.
They're just fun to have.
You heard right, a tank. Byrd answers that questions about what he's really trying to do is create his own police force. Our investigations continue tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Marius?
Can't wait to hear the rest of this story, Jeremy. Thank you.